conference. Well, that's refreshing to hear, because Biden hasn't given one of those since November 2022.
What are the dangers you see, sir? And did you hear anything from the executive that assuaged your concerns?
There are dangers. We'll get a chance to talk about all those things, I promise you.
You said a press conference?
Great! We'll talk about all those things at the press conference.
Reporters trying to sneak in some questions as they're escorted out of the room at the White House. The President of the United States saying, this is news to us, that he would have a press conference later today and answer more questions. We'll get you more information on that as we get it.
But as it turns out, Biden was just confused. There was no press conference, but he did have a softball interview scheduled tonight on a special 2-hour edition of the 11th hour on MSNBC. Stephanie Ruhle will sit down with President Joe Biden for an exclusive one-on-one interview. His first since announcing his re-election bid. Tune in, beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern. Wow, an exclusive interview with Joe Biden. Cancel your Friday night Cinco de Mayo plans because Joe Biden's going to be on the TV. So in response, I tweeted, gonna guess that Biden will only appear for 20 minutes or less during this 2-hour special edition. So was I right? Come on, man. I'm the top senior political analyst on YouTube. Of course I was right. Out of 120 minutes, MSNBC only showed 13 minutes and 12 seconds of this exclusive one-on-one interview. Now, before she played back the interview, Stephanie Ruhle needed to set it up like a sales pitch and talk about all of the amazing accomplishments that Joe Biden has had while in office.
Since taking office, a major focus of Biden's has been the economy and rebuilding our infrastructure. He pushed through the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, along with the Inflation Reduction Act.
So let me get this straight. Biden's biggest accomplishments are $1.7 trillion in infrastructure spending, only 30% of which actually goes towards infrastructure. The CHIPS Act, which is essentially a multi-billion-dollar bribe to computer chip companies to manufacture here in the United States, which they should be doing anyway, and the so-called Inflation Reduction Act that actually doesn't lower inflation.
Biden's economic plan includes his Investing in America agenda to help make all of that legislation an absolute reality.
I love that this clip of Biden swaying back and forth was the best footage that they could find to use.
I want to start with maybe your most ambitious agenda item, and that's your infrastructure plans. This is something you have wanted to do for decades, rebuild America, bring jobs back, but it's going to take time to implement it. People haven't seen it. A year from now, what will Americans see?
Well, they're going to see bridges that didn't exist before that were shut down.
They're going to see bridges that didn't exist before that were shut down. Great start, Joe.
They're going to see, for example, you're going to be able to get an Amtrak, and instead of going through the tunnel of Baltimore at 30 miles an hour because nothing's been done under the Chesapeake Bay under the Baltimore River, the Baltimore area for 80 years. They're going to be able to go through at 100 miles an hour.
Biden is attempting to talk about the Baltimore and Potomac Tunnel. However, it doesn't run under the Chesapeake Bay because Chesapeake Bay is roughly 14 miles away geographically from the tunnel. Nor does the BNP Tunnel go under the Baltimore River because the Baltimore River is located in the state of Michigan. And for the record, the BNP Tunnel doesn't go under any body of water.
They're going to see more. They're going to see railroads going from Syracuse to all the way down